Hi, everyone. We are here today for today's MEDA Connections with Monika Ostroff, the Executive Director of the Multi-Service Eating Disorders Association, also known as MEDA, which is a NEDA network member. Monika is a therapist with lived experience who, prior to MEDA, led several eating disorder treatment centers in New Hampshire, as well as owning a thriving private practice. And Monika is here today to talk about self-care during COVID-19. Welcome, Monika.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here with you guys today.
I'm excited to have you as well. And I wanted to just kind of kick it off by just asking you to talk a little bit about what's been going on related to COVID-19, what you've observed from MEDA's perspective, and why self-care is so important.
Yeah, I think, we've been sort of observing this unprecedented level of anxiety in people who went from being able to go visit their treatment teams and their therapists and dietitians to really having different access to them. Some of them don't have access at all. Some of them have virtual access. People who are used to having a certain amount of movement outside, feeling like they're more contained in their houses. And sometimes they're in houses with family members that are dieting or have sometimes diagnosed or undiagnosed active eating disorders, and simultaneously kind of struggling with not always being able to access the kinds of foods that they feel comfortable eating. So all of that has led to people feeling really triggered, really alone, somewhat lonely, isolated, and anxious. And so whenever anybody is that activated, self-care is always important, right? But when you have all that stuff going on, it's almost like doubly important that we're taking really good care of ourselves.
Yeah. So what is self-care? What does it look like?
For the way that I think about it is that it's not as complex as I think people sometimes think that it is. Like, realistically, it's just creating a space for yourself in your life and making sure that you can be gentle with yourself. And I think that, for people with eating disorders, they tend to be so good at taking care of other people that they tend to forget about making room for themselves. And by that, I mean like for their thoughts, their feelings, and their needs. So I think sometimes people think of self-care and they're like, oh, it's, lighting a candle, taking a bubble bath, getting my nails done. And that can be part of self-care sometimes, right? But sometimes it's also basic, like attending to your needs. If you're somebody who's feeling really lonely and isolated, or you're, struggling potentially with more symptoms because of the anxiety around COVID-19, trying to attend to that need by maybe like dropping into some of the free support groups. I feel like the eating disorder community has been so good at offering them. And I know like MEDA is doing one Tuesday night at 7. We do one at Thursday at noontime that people can find like through our Instagram account or on our website. You guys, I think, have a list as well, right, of drop-in groups available on the NEDA site. Do you remember what page that's on so people can find it really easily?
It actually pops up right when you visit our website, so that's the first great step. And I know there's resources that the network actually helped us compile, so we have a lot of information there.
Yeah, I think people like keeping that in mind, like just going to your website on your homepage and seeing those support groups is such an awesome way to take care of yourself and practice self-care. And I decided, a couple months ago to just also pop onto Instagram Live, like at 8:00 Monday night, to just very casually hang out with people and offer some support. Like that can be a good way. And then I think sometimes people also forget that it's important to practice just regular coping skills when you don't need them so that they work when you do need them. And maybe, maybe it doesn't have to always be something so complex of going through therapeutic skills that you learned. It can sometimes be simple, like using essential oils like lavender if you like aromatherapy, or putting that on your skin to help calm your system, or just doing some basic deep breathing. A lot of people like the boxed breathing, where you breathe into 4, you pause for 4, you exhale for 4, and you pause for 4, and you just kind of keep doing that. But I honestly feel like the things that have been so important for self-care right now are the things that provide rejuvenation and help you remember that you're more than your eating disorder if you're somebody struggling. So a couple of things that we were doing to kind of help with that, to help people remember those other things in life that are fun and rejuvenating. Like we're hosting an open mic night that's virtual on June 4th. So like people who are singers, musicians, poets, writers, artists can come and just display their work. Like maybe somebody's going to like make a collage or make a piece of art that they're going to show us and just talk a little bit about it. Someone else is going to sing. And even if people aren't going to be presenting, right? Like just coming and being part of that community and enjoying the music and enjoying the art. That's a great way of practicing self-care. And we thought too, like on the June 12th, we're going to do this other thing with Therese Razor, who's behind the Instagram account Healing Crayons. She does a lot of recovery-oriented collaging. We're going to do a workshop with her that she's leading on the 12th, that one's going to be during the day, like probably 1 o'clock-ish. Just taking people through an activity really germane to today. It's going to be about cultivating the same kind of compassion you have for your loved ones, but for yourself. Because once you can tune into that, right, and listen to like, what does my body need today? What do I need emotionally? That can help you. It's like a barometer almost. It can help you figure out what it is that you need. So do I just need to chill out and meditate, or can I light that candle, or do I need a warm bath, or do I just need to like turn on some really loud music and let go and just let my emotions out through like some funky dance that I'm doing by myself? So that's kind of like the gist of the various types of self-care that I think are really important right now.
Yeah, I think that those are just a wealth of options that are all so different from one another in ways that people can probably relate to, finding kind of what works for them. How do you think that you can decide, like how do you figure out what form of self-care is right for you or right for me? Where can you figure out like the right approach for you?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question. For some people, I think you need like the options, right? Like having a list in front of you and then paying attention to when you look at something, how you feel. I know there's actually a book that I've recommended to a lot of people called Extreme Self-Care that Cheryl Richardson wrote some time ago. She also does, I'm pretty sure she has some of that recorded. And it just gives ideas about being really gentle and making sure that there's just space for you to breathe in your life, because even when we're not in a pandemic, sometimes people are so overscheduled that you forget to take time out for yourself. But another thing that I've tried to do, and MEDA has tried to do, is on Wednesday nights at 8 on our Instagram account, we have guests on, and they've all different gamut, truthfully. We've had a personal trainer who's in recovery talk about safe movement. We've had Therese actually on talking about collaging. We've had clinicians on talking about how to kind of take care of yourself if you're stuck in a family situation where there are people dieting. And I know this week coming up, we've got Jean Mattingly from Recovery Love and Care. Sorry, that's her Instagram handle. And she's going to be talking about this concept of self-care. So just popping onto those sometimes, it's easy. It's in your living room, it's on your phone. And just kind of paying attention when somebody's talking about something. How does your body feel? I've walked a lot of people through this really quick exercise where if you can envision yourself briefly doing something and pay attention to your muscles and your breath, if you are visualizing yourself in a setting or doing an activity and you're all of a sudden feeling like a pit in your stomach and your shoulders are up by your ears and you're all tense, it's probably your body giving you a message that maybe that's not the best thing for you to try, versus feeling like your chest open up and your muscles relax or having a sense of excitement. Like that can be your internal barometer. Like, go ahead and try that thing, right? Like, it's a good way of just kind of.
I wonder if, for folks that are watching, if you want to share any of your own self-care ideas, what's working for you, for other people in the community to be able to relate to. I think that would be really great to see in the comment boxes. And I'd also want to ask, I know you've mentioned a couple of things, but MEDA's doing a lot about this, and you guys are offering a lot of opportunities for the community to connect. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and where we can find out more?
Yeah, the easiest place truly to find out what we're doing is literally if you go to medainc.org, which is our homepage on our website, and you click our calendar. If you click any day of the week, you'll see what's going on for that day. and it'll give you the free registration link. So we felt really strongly about just kind of making a lot of resources free. So if you click Monday nights, you'll see the link to the family and friends group, because it's always helpful if they know how to support themselves while they're supporting you, right? And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, you'll see our free drop-in groups. On Instagram, Mondays and Wednesdays at 8 o'clock, we always have a live going on. And we do yoga and meditation as well on Fridays. And we'll be having more of these. I don't think we have a name for them yet, right? But like the open mic night or the art therapy group on Zoom. And I'm going to do a workshop on essential oils, just kind of a free thing to show people how you can actually use them in a way that supports your well-being and helps your nervous system relax.
Really amazing.
That's actually one of the things I truthfully use a lot for myself, because I learned that, I didn't know this, but I think it's kind of cool. Like your second olfactory nerve, like that's the fastest way to get something to your brain is actually through your nose, which is kind of funky. So that's actually why things like lavender or spruce work really well to calm down the nervous system, or why peppermint makes you feel a little more like energized.
That's amazing. And you answered my next question, which was going to be, what do you do to utilize self-care? So that's perfect.
I need easy stuff, because I sometimes feel like I get so, and this is probably an excuse, right? Sometimes I just feel like I'm so busy that, like, how do I take out half an hour here or half an hour there to use meditation or brain tap, you know? But it's so simple to just grab some lavender and just like roll it on your wrist or on like your big toe and know that your body's reaping those results.
Yeah,
I'm a huge breath fan though.
And I like your point in the beginning about how, you know, when you feel like you don't have the time to do it, it's really like an important thing to take note of and maybe actually make the time for.
It's true. It's funny. I was talking to a friend of mine and I said, I think part of my problem is I really love my work. And so work doesn't feel like work because I have so much fun while I do it. And so truthfully, that can lead to really long days. So if I'm prepped and I just have these automatic things that I do, like I really do love essential oils, or just, you know, remembering to just take space to breathe. And then whenever I go to do something like make myself lunch, I also try to do this thing where I just take a mental step back and evaluate, how does my body feel? You know, where are my muscles? I love getting outside with my dog. Just fresh air is the most amazing thing. Plus, I think everybody should have a dog to cuddle with. I'm just saying.
Kind of agree. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing all the things that MEDA is doing and that you've practiced to be able to relate to self-care. And I hope that others can chime in and let us know about what they're doing so that, you know, our community can benefit and learn more about this.
It's awesome. Thank you so much for this opportunity too, because I do feel like the more we come together and the more people share what works for them, the more ideas you get and the better off everybody feels. Yeah. And I just love the cohesion in our community. Like NEDA has been so amazing with everything going on, and we're so happy to be network members with you guys.
Yeah, likewise. We're really appreciative of the opportunities that we have together.